Welcome to Mick's Block. Today on this episode, what we're going to be looking at is death. And what made me think about death was this one time I had this crazy stomach ache where I was convinced I was going to die.
My stomach. This is it. This is my life now. I'm going to die. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Oh, I guess I was just gassy. See, the story we're going to look at today in the Bible is found in the book of John, which is the fourth gospel. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So John 11, verses 38 to 44. Jesus once more, deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." Then Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." See, this is a very fascinating story because we have Jesus who is going to the tomb of his friend, who's been dead at this point for 4 days. Now, he was aware that his friend was passing away. He was aware from 4 days before. But he decided to wait. And once he got there was no chances for Lazarus to be healed because he was dead and buried. But we read in verse 38, Jesus once more deeply moved. It is crazy to think that the God of the universe would be deeply moved by the sorrows of his people. But we have it here. It says, deeply moved, came to the tomb. He feels for his people. He cares about us. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Much like Jesus' tomb, there was a mighty stone before it. But Jesus here decides to show his glory by raising him from the dead. Long after people thought it would have been too late to do anything about Lazarus. And that is what Jesus is trying to teach us. Not that we are able to raise people from the dead, not that we are able to do that kind of thing, but that he is able to do that kind of thing. That he is able, beyond a shadow of a doubt, when we believe there is no hope, Jesus is able to come through and perform a miracle. And in this case, he brings someone back to life. And you see, the Bible tells us that we were dead in our sins. So every time someone is saved, then it is no different than Lazarus coming out of the tomb and being told, remove the cloth, remove the burial gown, because you are new. And I don't know how Lazarus' life ended up being ultimately, but it must have been very different for him after that moment. And so today, as you focus on this story, this idea that God brings people back to life spiritually and sometimes physically, but that he brings people back to life, and he has the power to intervene in people's lives when we don't believe that it is possible. I pray that you would find peace and assurance, and that you would go to him saying, God, I don't think, I have this fear, God, that you can't do this. But I have faith, Father, that you will come through, because I know you are able to do great things. So on that note, I just pray you have a blessed week. God bless.
Perfect.